So I've got my backpacking gear down to a reasonable weight, pretty lightweight for me. It's totally comfortable on the trail. I can just throw all my gear in the pack. Don't really have to weigh it, but I do anyway. And I know it's gonna be pretty lightweight. So for a while now, I've been really wanting to make a video just choosing like all the lightest options of gear I have and throwing them together and just seeing how potentially light I could make my backpack and my base weight. And then I kind of thought, you know, what if I went to the extreme and I really just like went as light as I possibly can. I'm talking no conveniences, no luxuries at all. And I'm gonna take it one step further, and I'm actually going to use this setup this weekend on the trail. It was supposed to just be a fun video, and then I got the bright idea that, you know, let's just do it. Let's do a minimalist camping experience. Might be uncomfortable, it might just be absolutely terrible, but I'm gonna do it at a place I'm really familiar with, where I could always, you know, run the trail out if I'm freezing in the middle of the night or something. But it's gonna be a unique experience, I think. So let's get right into the big four, the lightest I have to offer. For backpacks, I have two options. They're both Dyneema backpacks, super ultralight packs. This is a LiteAF Curve 40 liter suspension model, and this is a Hyperlight Mountain Gear 2400 or 40 liter Porter backpack. So I'm gonna weigh these up as they stand, and there's some add-ons in these that I can take off too, and we're just gonna see how light we can make each of these packs. Okay, the LiteAF 1 pound 13 ounces. The Hyperlight Mountain Gear is 2 pounds 5 ounces. Now this is the Porter version of Hyperlight's backpack, so it doesn't have a front pocket or water bottle pockets on the side, so these are all add-ons. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these off, weigh it up, and see if it can compare to that 1 pound 13 ounces. All right, so we got the Hyperlight all stripped down. The pocket is off, no water bottles on the sides. And I know you're thinking, Bryce, where are you gonna keep your water bottle? Well, I don't know, but that's not the point of this trip. Reweighing the Hyperlight Mountain Gear, 1 pound 14 ounces. So far, the LiteAF still has it by 1 ounce, but there's still something we can strip off of both of them, and that is the internal suspension. This is gonna be a light enough trip that I should not need any type of aluminum stay or suspension in a backpack. And to tell you the truth, I've never backpacked without these, without the suspensions in these backpacks. There's one of them from the Hyperlight. You can see it's a little aluminum stay. I've never felt the need to go like super lightweight where I take the suspension out of my backpack. So I think I'm gonna just give it a try on this trip. And this might come down to who has the lighter aluminum stays. So now the packs are completely stripped down. Let's see the final weight on both. Now this LiteAF Curve, I actually got a lot of bells and whistles on this. I got a bottom pocket on it. I got grid stop pockets on the side, which are a little bit heavier in Dyneema. I got a V-loop on the bottom. I got the Y strap on the top. So I really have this thing decked out. You can get these quite a bit lighter. And I actually have hip belt pockets, which I could take off. Take them off. All right. And I apologize, I'm so sweaty, but I just got done watching Cops. All this backpack disassembling gets you all worked up. Okay, so no more hip belt pockets on the LiteAF. It is completely stripped down. Let's see what we got. 1 pound 6 ounces. So that is not bad. And the old trusty Hyperlight Mountain Gear, 1 pound 11 ounces. So that settles it. The backpack on this trip is going to be the LiteAF Curve 40. Freaking junk! So that brings us to the second big four item, and that's going to be sleeping pads. I have tons of sleeping pads, from really crappy Walmart foam pads to slightly better foam pads, self-inflating foam pads, and just a wide variety of inflatable pads. So the lightest options of all those are going to come down to these two. Believe it or not, Walmart, man, 8 ounces for this blue foam pad, and I actually have this thing chopped down really short. I chopped it down on the sides and lengthwise because I'm not that tall. And I have the first the first inflatable pad I ever bought, Climate Inertia X-Frame, a super light sleeping pad that's not really known for its comfort. It's got some holes in it. I'll blow it up here in a second and show you. So I just weighed these two up, and surprisingly this was a little heavier than I thought. It's actually like 10 ounces. And the X-frame came in a little over 9 ounces. It claims for 8, so that's okay. It could be a little bit heavier than that. But this is stupid ultralight on this trip. So stuff sacks gotta go. 3 breaths. Now, as you can see, it's kind of missing some padding here in this pad. But I used to use this. I used to sleep good on it. In my opinion, it is more comfortable than that blue foam pad, and it takes up a much smaller area in my backpack. Obviously, that thing I'd have to tie on the outside of it. But this is definitely my choice for this weekend. Haven't slept on this for probably like 2 years or so. I'm actually excited to use this thing and see if my views over the years have changed since I use much better sleeping pads now. Number 3. Sleeping bags or quilts in my case. I have kind of a wide variety of quilts. I have a 0 degree, a 20 degree, and a few Costco quilts. It's really a no-brainer which one I'm gonna bring. I'm going with the Costco quilt on this. I actually have 3 of these. I have 2 purple ones that came as a set. This one's a little bit different brand. I know there's a couple different brands of them, but this one is actually lighter. It's actually not as warm, so we're gonna go ahead and go with the more dangerous one on this. The temperatures this weekend are, like highs of 90 in the day, and it's gonna drop like low 60. So it could potentially get chilly at night, but with that super warm sleeping pad, I should be just fine. Number 4 is tents. I have 2 lightweight options for this. I have the 1 pound, 13 ounce Light Gear Solo, but it doesn't even compare to the LiteAF prototype tent. Now this is not available. It is actually getting totally redesigned. It's back on the drawing board. Not going to be available for some time, I imagine. I think it's a great tent. They are just, let me tell you, they are perfectionist over there at LiteAF, and that is no exaggeration. So the prototype comes in at a staggering 1 pound, 2 ounces. That's 18 ounces for this tent in the stuff sack. Stuff sack's gotta go! There we go. So I really wish I was doing this in a different season because I could get rid of the whole bug net portion of this tent and just take the fly that literally weighs 7 ounces. Pretty much midsummer buggy weather here in Ohio, and I'm not going out anywhere without a bug net right now. Another pro to the prototype tent is it utilizes 1 trekking pole to set up. No tent poles, just 1 trekking pole. The Light Gear, I would have to bring 2 poles, and for the poles, no, it's a no-brainer. Gossamer Gear LT5. This is a 5 ounce trekking pole. The only one I have that didn't break so far, but this is going to do the job. Probably be riding in my backpack most of the time because I'll be filming and stuff. Oh yeah, I will be taking camera gear, and I'm not going to include that because I don't have any lightweight camera gear. But this is the trekking pole for the job. Now for stakes, I have these really nice little MSR groundhogs, and I think I actually have some mini groundhogs as well. But I'm going with the best stake ever made. The titanium shepherd hook. The stake that everybody hates, except for me, because I think they're f***ing awesome. Now these stakes get a bad rap because they're super flimsy. I could literally just bend this in half right now. If you're going to anywhere that's like super rocky, it's a gamble for sure, but I will say I've literally used these things for like 3 years, and I bent one up, but it bent right back. But I mean, they're fine. They're absolutely fine. If you beat them with a rock, yes, you will bend them, but if you kind of just play around and find an area where they will go in, which I've really never had a problem with, these are super light. These are actually my favorite stake for sure. I like the shepherd hook end way better than the groundhog. 6 of these, that's all I'm going to need for that tent. A cheap little stake sack. I could go no stuff sack on this one, but I don't want to risk poking a hole in anything. 6 titanium shepherd hooks in this bag, 1.1 ounce or 36 grams altogether. So with the trekking pole as my tent pole, the shepherd hook stakes, and the tent that I'm bringing, staggering 1 pound 8 ounces for the shelter, 682 grams total for the shelter. Big 4 is out of the way, so let's just get into the little stuff, which there's not going to be a lot. So let's start when you take apart a frog in class, what's it called? Dissect. Let's get into the Ditty bag. I'm just gonna start dissecting that, just throwing stuff out I don't want or don't need, and let's do it. So here's my poop bag. Hand sanitizer, toilet paper, and deuce of spades trowel. That one's tough because it's hard to dig a cat hole to go to the bathroom in with a trekking pole. It sucks. And to make an actual true like 6-inch deep hole to be like, you know, legal, like leave no trace like what you're supposed to do, it's very hard. A lot of time you don't have time to do that. So I'm gonna do the right thing on this one, and I'm just gonna bring the trowel and toilet paper. I mean, I could use leaves, but I'm not that hardcore. Now I always use hand sanitizer out there after I go to the bathroom. That's like just one of the easiest ways to get sick after you go to the bathroom is if you eat some food or something. So I'm just gonna be safe. Now water filter, I normally go with the Sawyer Squeeze. I also have Sawyer Minis. Now I haven't used this in a long time, and I know what I would get if I brought this, which is just nasty, like probably moldy water. I really just need to throw this thing away. If I had a good Sawyer Mini, I'd probably bring it because the whole principle of this trip, the whole point, is to go as light as possible. Even though the Squeeze is a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier, it's just such a better filter. But that is not what this trip is about. We're not going for convenience here. So I am just not taking a filter on this trip. I about hit my foot. Does that mean I'm gonna bring extra water? Actually, I'm not sure. I still might bring the filter because I don't know. I'll have to figure out in the parking lot because I'm going to Mohican and you have to pick your campsite at the kiosk when you go. Sometimes they're taken. You got to have plan Bs. And I've been there a bunch, so I'm always confident I will find something. Whatever site is open, I'll take it. There might not be water by a campsite. There might be water by a campsite. So depending if I'm going to hike a lot, and I know how much water I need to get me through a day and a half of backpacking. So we'll see. I might just have to carry all my water, but if not, I will have this on hand. Here's my Ditty bag. A lot of this stuff just stays in here all year round. So we got a microfiber cloth. I like it primarily to wipe up condensation on the inside of the tent. And another thing is if I need to blow my nose, no conveniences on this one, so that one's out. Plus I can always use my shirt or something to blow my nose if I need to. I always bring an extra trash bag for a pack liner, or if I just have something unexpectedly get soaked and I don't want to get other gear in my pack wet. I always have a trash bag to separate things. Not gonna bring that. I am gonna bring a headlamp. These Taquinas by Petzl, they're not bad. They're not the lightest headlamp, but they are the lightest headlamp that I have. So I'm gonna go with it. Like I'm not buying extra gear or light gear to do this. This is just the lightest gear that I have and all my options. So that's my headlamp. Battery bank, won't be needing that. Now that is a pretty light toothbrush right there. It's not gonna bring it. It's not gonna brush my teeth on this one. I'll brush them before I go. I'll brush them when I get home. It'll be all right. And here is my first aid kit. And this is actually what I bring on every trip. And I know some of you might think that that is pretty ultralight and extreme as it is, which there's not a lot in here. I can tell you what's in here. There's a little piece of Dyneema tape to repair my tent. There is some burn cream because I'm always playing with fire. There's like a little tiny one-time use cold relief allergy pill, medicine, a little bit of moleskin, and probably one Band-Aid in here. Ditch the burn cream, ditch that thing. We're gonna go. 2 Band-Aids, first aid kit, weighing in at a staggering 0 grams. For a lighter, got the traditional mini Bic here. It might be on its last leg. I'm kind of scared to take it, actually. I might have to pick up another one of these on the way. But it's going to be a mini Bic and the headlamp. That's it for the Ditty bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just throw these into my bathroom kit here. And that will then become my Ditty bag. So the Ditty bag weighs in at 5.6 ounces or 115 grams. So for the cook kit, I always bring this little Toaks titanium pot, super ultralight, with all my pop can stove, alcohol stove stuff in there. On this trip, I'm just not gonna bring a stove. Nothing lighter than just not having a cook kit at all. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm gonna pick up a steak. and do this one old school. I'm just gonna cook a steak, just put it right on the fire and cook that with them when I'm out there. Probably bring like a little bit of like steak spice or something for that. But that might be almost all the food I bring. One steak and maybe like something to get me through the hike, like a pack of fruit snacks or like a Cliff Bar or something along those lines. So I always bring a clothing bag with my extra clothes in it. It's usually always this red one here. Not gonna do a clothing bag on this trip, which is going to be a little bit difficult because this always becomes my pillow. I always have some extra garment that I'm not sleeping in, and it's always sufficient as a pillow. On this trip, I'm going to have to try to figure something out, maybe sleep in my backpack under my head or something. But I'm not going to bring a clothing bag because I'm not going to really bring any extra clothes. No extra pants, no extra underwear, no socks. I'm just going to be wearing a t-shirt most of the time, the only one I'm going to bring. And I was trying to think what I could bring for an extra layer. Because although I might be fine in a t-shirt, I would like to have another piece of clothing. So I was thinking like maybe a long sleeve t-shirt, they're pretty light. Then I thought something lighter than that would be my Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisperer 8-ounce puffy jacket. Warmth to weight ratio, this thing is crazy good. But 8 ounces, it's a little bit overkill. So what I decided on as the one piece of additional clothing I'm going to bring on this trip is one of my Montbell windbreakers. So these weigh like 2 ounces a piece. 52 grams, like 1.8 ounces on this. So that's it. That's my clothing bag right there. Food bag, like I said, not going to bring one. I'm just going to bring the steak in whatever it comes in. Maybe throw it in a Ziploc bag so it doesn't like bleed all over everything. But as far as utensils go, you guys know me. KFC spork all the way. 2 grams. And I'm going to throw that in my Ditty bag too. Another thing I was wrestling with is if I should bring something for an emergency. And I wouldn't hesitate to not bring anything. I'm going to go ahead and do the right thing on this one. And I'm going to bring, not the phone, because this isn't about luxury. No phone, no movies, nothing on this trip. I'm going to go with the Spot Gen 3. It actually weighed like 130 grams. I think my phone was like 200 or something like that. Something I'm also wrestling with is a knife. I really want to bring a knife because I'm going to have a fire. So I have my Mora Companion here. Super light knife. I really wanted to bring my little Mora Eldris that's about this big. Problem is I can't seem to find it. I don't know where it is. I'm depending on fire for my food, my dinner. So I have to have a knife that will actually like process wood. So time to pack her up, see what she weighs. This is crazy. Okay. So that is it. The entire loadout minus food and water. So this is our base weight. 5 pounds, 4 ounces. That's a 5 pound, sub 6 pound base weight backpacking kit. And I get that this is not ideal. Okay, this is purely for fun. This is just stupid ultralight. Not ultralight. People have legit systems out there for 6 pound base weights. This is not one of those systems. This is not going to win any contests. This is just for fun. This is as light as I could get with all the stuff in my gear room. So that is insane. That is actually lighter than I thought it was going to be. My normal base weight, I'd like to say, rides around 11 pounds. I could probably get it down to 10 if I'm really being nitpicky. But this is just absolutely ridiculous. So if I make any minor changes and when I add food and water in this, I will bring a scale and weigh this at the trailhead before I start the trip, which is something I always do, whether I put it in the videos or not. I like having a scale. I like knowing exactly what weight I'm starting with. So I always weigh my packs at the trailhead. Stay tuned for the trip video. I will definitely let you guys know, and you'll get a full trip report and get to experience that one with me. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're interested in videos like this in the future, and leave a comment down below if you think this is just like absolutely stupid or maybe a good idea. I don't know. Or if you have any other crazy ideas, put them down in the comments. I love reading them, and that'll do it. So thank you guys again, and I'll see you on the next one. I had to stop yesterday. I couldn't mentally take another one.